Also, we have no, Chandler. We have Chandler here. That is from Jane Nelson, State Senator Jane Nelson, is going to make a proclamation for us this morning. And I haven't read the proclamation, so they're going to proclaim some things, and so I'm sure it's a good thing. Mayor Price, welcome. I don't want to forget by the way, our wonderful, fantastic, most supportive councilman in the entire city, Dennis Shingleton. All right, and if you will, look around yourself and everybody in blue, would you shake their hands, because they're the ones that making all this Centennial celebration stuff happen right there. All right. Chandler, you want to go ahead? We're a little bit early, but hey, whoa.
That's unusual.
The sun's it's going to get hotter, so we might as well get going, I suppose.
Well,
and if there's anybody else, we'll let them catch up.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us out here. Senator's sorry she couldn't be here, but again, I'm Chandler. I'm her field representative. So we have Senate Proclamation number 236, which has already been authorized by Senate Secretary and David Dewhurst, our Lieutenant Governor. It reads, "The Senate of the State of Texas is pleased to join the citizens of Fort Worth in celebrating the 100th anniversary of the opening of Lake Worth. Whereas water first flowed over the spillway at Lake Worth Dam on August 10, 1914, after heavy summer rains had filled the new reservoir well ahead of schedule. Declared the largest municipal park in the world by Fort Worth Parks Commissioner Harry Vintage, the lake opened to recreational visitors in June of 1917, and some 75,000 people, equal to Fort Worth's population at the time, visited the nation's newest resort in its first summer season. Whereas local residents began Fort Worth's planning for the lake in the aftermath of the battle against a massive 1909 fire that virtually depleted the artisan wells that supplied the city's water. Under the leadership of engineer John B. Hawley, the West Fork of the Trinity River was chosen as the site for a new reservoir to serve the rapidly growing area. Whereas through the years, Lake Worth has provided North Texas residents not only with drinking water, but with a wide range of recreational opportunities, beginning when E.P. Haltom launched his sailboat even before the lake was full and began a long tradition of inland sailing and other water sports. City leaders stocked the lake with game fish and began planning for commercial development to serve growing tourist trade. The development of the lake contributed significantly to the growth of the surrounding communities of Fort Worth, Lake Worth, Sampson Park, River Oaks, West Worth Village, White Settlement, and Lakeside. Whereas dignitaries and celebrities from across the nation, including Franklin D. Roosevelt, enjoyed the famous hospitality of Amon G. Carter's Shady Oak Farm. Visitors to the lake came to dance in the Grand Ballroom at Mosque Point, and many large camp leases were developed alongside the lake, including the Camp Leroy Schumann Boy Scout facility, as well as a number of lakeside resorts with fishing piers and rental cabins operated by local families. Large pleasure boats were available for leisurely excursions, and by late 1926, there were 800 individual campsite leases. Whereas that same year, construction began on Casino Beach, which became known as the Coney Island of the Southwest. The Casino Beach amusement park featured a large swimming beach with trucked-in sand, a boardwalk, a small zoo, amusement rides, and a dance floor with a capacity of 1,000 people. Whereas the Civilian Conservation Corps played a vital role in completing much of the comprehensive design for the city's parks that had been established by noted landscape design firm Hare & Hare. Workers built numerous stone picnic tables and roadside fireplaces, along with more than 10 miles of drives and nature trails. The historic meandering road still offers inspirational vistas, which are enhanced by the large number of the city's heritage trees that grace the area. Whereas, as events worked to draw the United States into World War II, area leaders ceded more than 500 acres of lakeside property to the United States Army for the construction of Air Force Plant No. 4, a bomber factory that produced some 3,000 B-24s by 1944, when production shifted to the B-32. The adjacent Tarrant Army Airfield was later renamed in honor of Major Horace Carswell, the first Fort Worth native to be awarded the Medal of Honor. Whereas Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base Fort Worth and the city's major aircraft manufacturers have for more than 7 decades provided career opportunities, economic stability, and support for national security from the shores of Lake Worth. And whereas the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge was also established on the shores of the lake, and this nationally renowned wilderness habitat and educational treasure celebrates its 50th anniversary in 2014. Whereas Lake Worth made international headlines in 1969 with sightings of the Lake Worth monster near Greer Island, although the resort area's popularity declined for a time with the development of city pools, air conditioning, television, and other distractions of modern life, the lake has more recently experienced a resurgence in public interest as its natural beauty, recreational potential, and historic and cultural resources have been recognized and enhanced through careful planning, comprehensive renovations and improvements, and a massive dredging project. Whereas the Fort Worth City Council has declared 2014 to be the Lake Worth Centennial Year, with plans for the redevelopment of Casino Beach to highlight the return of Lake Worth as a premier tourist destination. And whereas Lake Worth has been a major Tarrant County attraction for a century, and it is truly fitting that its centennial be observed by Texans everywhere, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Senate of the State of Texas hereby commend the people of Fort Worth on their commitment to preserving and expanding historic Lake Worth, and extend to them best wishes for a memorable 100th anniversary celebration. So thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. And while we have your attention and Betsy close at hand, it's with great pleasure that we present, and Wes, great pleasure on behalf of the Centennial Celebration Committee, on behalf of the Lake Shore residents, neighbors, and all these wonderful volunteers that make this wonderful sea of blue out here. I'm loving it. Betsy, that's for you.
Thank you.
And Wes has, you probably don't need that anymore. Wes has autographed that. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the support, etc. And I don't know what.
I have to tell you that Dennis had one of these about a month ago.
Yes.
And I commandeered it, had it in my office for 2 days looking at it, and I kept saying, you might not get it back. It's a cool book, Wes. It really is. Thank you.
I think it'd be a good time to recognize my photographer, Chuck Garrett.
Hey, Chuck! Hi.
Hey, Corky. They were part of the team. She did everything else.
Sure. Thanks everybody for being out here, and thank you for working so hard on this centennial celebration. Lake Worth really is a true jewel. I mean, you've heard me say before that I grew up water skiing out here and swimming, and even decided with some friends at one point that we were going to swim across the lake when we were in the 8th grade, which was probably not the brightest thing we've ever done. As I recall, my friend D. Hughes got grounded for it, as a matter of fact. But we've had a good time, everybody. It's such a jewel for the community, and I'm so glad to see it coming back. All of you who live out here truly appreciate that and know the beauty of the lake, and we want more and more people to understand how important Lake Worth is, not just for Fort Worth water and not just for your living, but for the history of the city and the continuity that it brings. And to see it coming back up is going to be great. So thank you so much for looking forward and making the lake even better. We have to look back at our history, but we must look forward as we move forward to contain what we have and to continue to make it better. The boat parade that's coming up is going to be great fun.
Yes, yeah.
June 21st. And today's bike ride's going to be fun, so we're going to have a good time. Dennis, you want to say something?
No, you go right ahead. You're doing great. I'm getting ready for a bike ride.
He's a big help. He's getting ready for a bike ride. He told me that I could pump him on my handlebars. Said maybe we'll do this differently. You'll pump me. So thank you for working so hard. It's what makes Fort Worth so incredibly special is the people who get out and get involved in their neighborhood. So thank you for doing that. Bob?
Thank you. Marty, Cindy.
Good morning. Morning. Be safe.